Hey Pisces Kingdom, I'm tuning in for a reading tonight. I usually don't read this late, but I was feeling guided to channel, and I don't know for who this message is specifically, but as I was shuffling, I was hearing a message intuitively. And yeah, so if this is your reading, you're gonna know who you are, but the message coming in is, love me correctly or you'll lose me entirely. Okay, so I don't know for who that is. Ace of Pentacles is the general energy coming in, and what I'm getting with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse and then ending with the Two of Cups in the upright is love me correctly or lose me entirely. Some of you are really just reflecting on what is a non-negotiable for you, what you will accept and what you won't accept. And so many of you have just matured so much at this point with the Hermit. You are an old soul. You tend to be very wise, very introspective. You tend to be very wise and maybe even a little bit too smart for your own good. And so you've realized the things that you won't tolerate, the things that will just not slide by because you know that it's not going to be fulfilling to you. You know it's not going to be enough, that you're going to get bored of it eventually. And so with you Pisces, it's just really all or nothing, right? Are you really in this? You really want to do this, right? Or are you kind of, halfway, right? Is whoever you're connecting with, are they like fully in this? Are they fully balanced? Are they giving you what it is that you need? Or are you just getting bored of the situation? Are you just getting bored of the person or the relationship? Because Six of Pentacles in the reverse talks about an imbalance, okay? Maybe someone takes too much or someone gives too much, but there is a lack of reciprocation. And it could go both ways, okay? I don't want to play sides here. Do apply this to your situation, but there's been situations that just simply have not been enough for you or have not been balanced or reciprocal in the way that you need them, in the way that you want them. And so, yeah, love me correctly or lose me entirely is kind of what I hear you saying, because some of you are just, you're not going to Pisces, you love hard, okay? You love love. So you're just simply not going to accept things that are halfway, okay? Is it cold? Is it hot? Is it just warm, right? Is it black or is it white? Are you in? Are you out, right? Like, you just don't have time to be in this in-between space. You don't have time to be in the gray area because, sometimes when you're starting something out and you want to see where it's going to go, that's potential, right? That's a new beginning. But for a lot of you Pisces, I'm just getting the fact that you have a very clear mindset and a very clear set of goals and the things that, like, you've always known what you want, okay, and what you expect. And I just noticed I have some eyeliner on my hand here. You've always known what you want. You've always known what you expect and what you can give. Therefore, you have very clear boundaries, very clear needs, okay? Like, you've identified this for yourself. So you don't have time for someone who's going to be in between, right? Or for someone who just doesn't know that. You're not going to be, you're not going to play discovery with them. You're not going to play, you're not going to be a part of the research project. You're not going to be another adventure. And again, not to say that you don't like adventures, you do, right? Queen of Wands, but it is in the reverse. Because these kinds of things, these kinds of relationships that feel a little bit unbalanced, okay, a little bit too much on one side or a little bit too much on the other, maybe non-reciprocal, maybe non-balanced, or someone gives too much or someone takes too much, and it could go both ways, okay? Just apply this to your situation. It just kind of kills the vibe a little bit for you, and you are a vibe, Pisces. People love you because of your energy. So if you're not feeling it, okay, if you're not feeling the energy, if you're not feeling the vibe, you tend to get bored very quickly, very easily. And so you know what you can offer, you know what you can give. And so if you feel like someone's wishy-washy or, again, maybe they're super obsessed with you or they're over-giving to the situation and you feel like it's too much, okay? Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you're completely all in on it and they're kind of just trying to figure it out, right? Either way, that is what kind of kills the flame for you. That's what kind of kills the excitement or the curiosity for you. That's kind of what, puts you off a little bit. And so this is why the Queen of Wands is in the reverse, because things that, again, it's not a match in energy, or it doesn't feel good, right? Like there's not that vibe. I don't know how to, I'm stumbling so much with my words. It's like, you are a vibe, Pisces. And so it's not so much about the person, but it's about when you guys come together, what does the vibe feel like, right? Because, there's a person with their own energy, their own vibe, and then there's you with your own energy, your own vibe. And together, the relationship, the connection has its own feeling. It has its own vibe to it. And so if you're not feeling it, it's just very easy for you to just not be like so easy for you to get bored or not be completely in it, or feel like it's kind of like the flame is off, or you're no longer curious about it or passionate or interested about it. And so, yeah, there's been a lot of introspection because you don't want to be in a situation where, again, you feel like the flame's not there, or you feel like it's repetitive, or you feel like it's boring, or, you know, like you can't be yourself fully. You can't be who you really are, like confident and fiery. You can't be your playful self, because Pisces, you know, talk about multiple personalities. You're all 12 zodiac signs in one. So there's so many sides to you. And if you kind of temper yourself and you show one side of you and you see how they react, okay, maybe this person is just, you know, very I don't want to say the word like basic, but, you know, sometimes you see people who just don't match your energy, who just don't get it, right? Like you can show them a little bit of your crazy, or you can show them a little bit of your not recklessness, but a little bit of your playful side, right? But if they don't match that, if they are not like that, okay, if they don't have that side to them, then you kind of tend to close off a little bit. So you kind of test people and you peel like an onion, you know, letting them see different sides of you and seeing how much they can handle, right? That's your playful side. And so what I'm getting here with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse is you tend to match energy very well because you are very intuitive, okay? So it's very easy for you to match energy, and it's very easy for you to feel into the energy and just flow. That's why you can get along with all kinds of people. That's why you can be friends with all kinds of people and relate and connect with them, because you flow like water and you're very intuitive. But not a lot of people can match you, okay? So there's the thing, okay? This entire time I've been struggling to get those words out. Not a lot of people can match your vibe. Not a lot of people can meet you on your level. And that's when you feel like, you know, the passion that was there, or the flame, or the curiosity that, you know, kind of started things is no longer there. And that's when you kind of tend to get bored of things. And maybe even want to go your own way. So I'm seeing a little bit of a pattern here, Pisces, that you've noticed that you're able to be there, okay, and be the ride or die, and be playful and show all these sides of you. And you tend to match energy, but not a lot of people can meet you on that level. So a lot of you just tend to not be super open to new relationships or new friendships, because you see that this cycle has played out. And it's rare when you find another Pisces or another person that can meet you on that level. And so most of the time you tend to go solo, okay? The hermit. You tend to go solo. You are the type of person where you love your alone time. You don't like to feel lonely. That's a whole nother thing. But you do enjoy your alone time. And that's usually when you can focus and really go all into your goals and really create the things that you want to create and keep your energy clean and just really be fully connected and in tune with yourself and your goals. Okay, the hermit. And when you tend to connect with people that, again, they can't match your energy, or they just don't get you, or you feel like you can't really be yourself, or, you know, it's just their energy cannot match yours, Two of Swords comes in. You feel a little bit like you're being pulled in two different directions. Should you match their energy? Should you kind of lower your vibe to match theirs? And it just doesn't feel like yourself, right? You feel like you're in an in-between place, or you have to make a decision. Should you cut them off? Should you move on? Should you go at it alone? Should you allow them into your life? Should you see what it's going to become? Two of Swords can also be the feeling of being a little bit confused and not knowing if it's coming from you or from them, right? Or having to make a decision whether or not you want to continue this connection or continue this relationship. And it feels like you've gone through this cycle before and you don't want to put yourself in that situation, because you tend to lose yourself in those kinds of connections. Not because of the person, but when you tend to care for people or you tend to connect with people, it's if you know, you don't want to break anybody's heart, but maybe you're not feeling it, okay? Maybe they can't match you. Maybe they can't meet you on your level. And that creates a little bit of this crossroads where you have that divided energy. Should you let them go, or should you try to see what it's going to become or what can come from it? And so in the past, you've been stuck in situations like this where you tend to lose yourself. And you just don't want to put yourself through that. And so there's this period of your life where you can either go at it alone or feel like you're being pulled in two different directions, or feel like, again, like you're not yourself. Like you're being pulled, you know, in their direction and kind of wanting to do your own thing. And that creates the crossroads of the Two of Swords. And so what I'm seeing now is that you've come to realize that you don't want to be here or here. You want to find something that works for you. You want to find the right kind of connection that will be on your level, okay, where these two hands can come into union, where this Two of Cups can be the reality of the situation, whereas this Two of Swords is the divided energy. Okay, this is not a good match. This is not a good feeling. This one is. But the thing is, Pisces, sometimes you do have to put yourself through those situations, right? Be more open, meet new friends, meet new people, until you find the right ones, okay? So it's not that you have to kiss all these frogs until you find the prince, right? Or the princess. It's more along the lines of just being open-minded, okay? And allowing new connections to come in and not being so quick to care for people, okay? So that if you feel the need to really sever ties or separate, you don't feel bad, right, in that process. I don't know why the message is coming in this way, but this feels more like it's been a repetitive cycle where things are not aligned, or they're not balanced, or they're not reciprocal, and that tends to kind of, you know, just put off the flame, or, you know, you tend to get bored very easily. And so the general energy coming in is the Ace of Pentacles. There's a brand new opportunity here to create something and to build something that's going to last. And for some of you, it does have to do with relationships and connections. Doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, okay? It could be platonic, could be a new friend, could be a best friend, could be a work partnership or a romantic partnership, okay? So the thing is, if you remain closed off, you already know what's gonna happen. It's already very predictable. But when you decide to open up, that's when you have the opportunity for these beautiful connections or these beautiful friendships to come in and to form. The only thing is that it's rare, okay? You tend to be very unique, and not a lot of people can meet you on that level. And so you tend to close off very quickly because you just don't want to place yourself in situations that are going to take away from you or are going to, you know, cause you to kind of lose yourself a little bit. But that at the same time, that takes away the fun or the creativity out of your life, okay? Because the Magician in the reverse talks about you having a lot of talent, a lot of artistic qualities, and the ability to master, manifest your way into everything that you want. But in the reverse, it says that you need to find a muse. You need to find a muse. You need to regain curiosity. You need to regain that excitement for life. Again, both of these power cards are in the reverse, okay? So I'm seeing it going in both ways. The first scenario is being in relationships that, again, relationships or friendships that bring out a side of you that, you know, is not very fun or is not very worth it to you, right? It just kind of pulls on your energy. You're not really getting much from it. It tends to be a little bit boring because even though you understand them and you can match their energy, they can't really understand you and they can't match your energy. And maybe, again, if you get too invested or you care for them too much, you may lose yourself a little bit in that connection, right? And so the other scenario is completely closing off and trying to go solo and then just kind of losing that spark or losing that magic or that curiosity for life of, you know, what can this become or where can this go? So there needs to be some kind of balance in between because both of these are in the reverse. One is in connection to your flame, to your passion, to your creativity, to your manifestation. And the other one is saying, again, you need to find that muse in life. Sometimes you gain inspiration through meeting new people in your life and just, you know, having that curiosity for what it can become and what can come from that connection, whether it's a friendship or relationship, something platonic, something romantic. And so there needs to be some kind of balance here. Something about lighting the flame and having some kind of muse in your life. Not that you're going out there and breaking hearts just to find a muse, not necessarily, but just something needs to change here, Pisces. So that you don't feel so bored in the situation. I don't know why the feeling of boredom is coming in with the Hermit. I don't know for who that is specifically. I don't know if you've been feeling bored a little bit, you know, maybe bored of the connections that you've been in or bored of going at it alone, okay? It could go both ways. But that Hermit with the Two of Swords is feeling a little bit like boredom, especially with the Magician and the Queen of Wands in the reverse. So let's go ahead and clarify and see what's coming in, because we do have a Two of Cups coming in. So this feels new, okay? This is not connected to the past. This Two of Cups feels new because we have the Ace of Pentacles as the general energy. This is a new opportunity for something to be created, for something that you can build upon, something that can transform into something greater. Because we go Ace being number 1 to Two of Cups. There is some kind of union coming in. But this is something that's coming in. This is not connected to the past, because the past connection is showing up as a Six of Pentacles in the reverse. There was no balance in reciprocation, or a lack of harmony as well. Someone was giving too much, or someone was taking too much, or they couldn't match your energy, or you didn't feel understood by them. Something along those lines. Do apply this to your situation. Holy Spirit, what do you want Pisces to know about the Six of Pentacles in the reverse? Okay, Queen of Swords in the upright. Knight of Cups in the upright. The World. Okay, so the good news, Pisces, about that Six of Pentacles in the reverse is that it's completely closed out. Whatever that cycle was that, again, there was a lack of harmony or a lack of reciprocation or a lack of balance in that situation, you've successfully closed that cycle out, the World. So you no longer have to repeat that cycle. Whatever the cycle was in the past, you did the right thing. Queen of Swords, you spoke your truth and you were very honest about the situation. Maybe you communicated your needs. Maybe you communicated what you needed out of the situation, or you were quick to cut things off when you saw the red flags. Whatever this was, you brought an ending to that cycle and you successfully closed it out. So that means it's not going to continue repeating in your life. So this is a really good sign. However, Knight of Cups, you may still get offers like this, okay? You may still get offers from people that, you know, want to be in your life, and, you know, they see the beauty in you. They like your energy, they like your vibe, and they want to be around you. But you need to be careful, because not all of these knights, not all of these offers can match your energy. And so this is where you have to be very discerning and just pull your track record and go based off of your experience. Go based off of your intuition, because your intuition will let you know. Instead of kind of telling yourself, oh, let's see where it's going to go, or let's see if this works out. Instead of doing that, Queen of Swords to the World, you've learned a lot of these lessons and you've been through a lot of these cycles to where you no longer have to be scared of repeating a cycle, because you have the wisdom now to cut it off if you need to cut it off. You have the wisdom now to communicate your needs and your wants. You're able to spot the red flags. You're able to, again, disconnect from your emotions and make the decisions that you have to make. So whatever used to affect you in the past or hold you back, you know, whether you felt bad or you don't want to break someone's heart or you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, or you cared about somebody and you stayed in a situation too long to your own detriment, you're no longer willing to do that to yourself. Okay, so Queen of Swords, you're putting yourself first. So just keep that in mind, because when you open up, you're not only opening up to the right kinds of people, you're also opening up to everybody else, okay? So just keep that in mind, because Knight of Cups means that you're very attractive. Your energy tends to be very magnetic, and so you attract all kinds of people, all kinds of offers, and not all of them are going to be meant for you. So Queen of Swords, just knowing how to speak your truth in the moment and communicating your needs and your wants is really going to save you time and potentially even a headache or confusion. The World, okay, because you learned the lesson and you close that cycle out successfully in your life. So you're no longer going to be in connections that are not balanced or aligned with you or your wants or your needs. So that's a really good sign. Let's go ahead and clarify the Queen of Wands in the reverse. Again, this is coming in as your energy. Whether you're male or female, it just talks about your confidence. It talks about your flame and your passion being put out or being turned off. Okay, because of connections or situations that are not in alignment with you or are not balanced with you. Okay, Queen of Wands in the reverse. Holy Spirit, what do you want Pisces to know about this energy? Ten of Swords in the reverse. Queen of Swords in the reverse. It's funny, we just had it in the upright. It came out in the reverse now. And then Ace of Cups in the upright. Okay, this is actually really, really clear. So Queen of Wands in the reverse to Queen of Swords in the reverse. In the past, Pisces, you may have lost passion, or you may have lost, you know, the flame a little bit because you didn't speak your truth. You didn't communicate your needs. You didn't communicate your wants. Maybe you held back a little bit because you knew that the truth was either going to hurt them or it was going to be too direct, okay? And so some of you kind of just kept your truth within, or you held back on the things that you needed to say or the things that you needed to express, and that kind of affected your confidence or your self-esteem, or that just kind of put off your flame a little bit. It was a big turnoff. And then 10 of Swords in the reverse, there's an ending to that, because you felt like you betrayed yourself in the process of not wanting to hurt somebody else's feelings. Okay, maybe you weren't feeling it anymore, or maybe you weren't getting what you needed or what you wanted out of the connection or the relationship, but you didn't communicate it on time. And so the 10 of Swords in the reverse means that you either felt betrayed, okay, you either betrayed yourself by not trying to hurt somebody else, or you put somebody else's needs before your own, and that's over. You're not going to do that again. The 10 of Swords is also a number 10. That cycle has been completed. And yeah, there's nothing to fear, Pisces, because a lot of you tend to take a big hit when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships, because you have a big heart and you tend to care for people, and you're very generous, very compassionate. And some of you tend to put others before your own needs, and that's when you tend to lose yourself in a connection or in a relationship. And so you've learned those lessons. You found that wisdom, you have that confidence, you have that self-esteem. And so Ace of Cups, again, you have 2 aces coming in. You are safe to open up your heart. You are safe to let people in and to have new friendships and to connect with them, as long as you prioritize yourself, as long as you keep yourself your number one priority. And again, you communicate your needs, you communicate your wants, your boundaries. You'll be safe, okay? You will be safe, and you will also get to enjoy the relationships and the connections in life, and not just feel like you end up losing or you end up taking the shorter end of the stick. Again, 2 aces, Pisces. This is really good. Ace of Cups to Ace of Pentacles. This is a brand new beginning when it comes to the heart, when it comes to emotional fulfillment. So Ace of Cups, I do want to touch base on this card here. So 2 aces is a really good sign, because this means that you're having a brand new beginning when it comes to the material world, when it comes to money, when it comes to opportunities, to new connections, to commitments, to the physical stuff. And the Ace of Cups talks about a brand new beginning in love and fulfillment in relationships and connections. So Ace of Cups, new connections, new romantic relationships, friendships, seeds of love and hope, newfound emotions, awakening the heart, joy, positive outcomes, oneness, bliss, and creativity. My heart is open and filled with love. An extremely positive message of vibrant beginnings. The Ace of Cups marks the genesis of relationships, emotional connections, and deep feelings of love and friendship. Your emotions are powerful magic. Cultivate the ability to call on expansive, optimistic, and profoundly radiant feelings, and consciously send your heart waves out. Pisces, you have 2 aces coming in for this month of November. And so we move on to the 2 of Swords, okay? This talks about confusion. This talks about needing to make hard decisions without knowing what's going to come. And for some of you, you tend to be too smart for your own good, to where if you're starting a new friendship or a new partnership or a new relationship, you tend to want to tap into your intuition. You tend to want to tap into your foresight to see what's going to happen, okay? What's going to come in, to see if it's even worth it, right? And so 2 of Swords says that sometimes you have to take the leap of faith and just trust yourself, because you may not have all the answers, okay? And there's a difference between assuming or feeling or having emotions versus your actual intuition. So there's a need to, recognize that and acknowledge the difference and be able to discern. But some of you won't know until you take the steps. You won't have the information until you move forward, okay? So it's kind of like learning as you go and not judging a book by its cover, because 2 of Swords, in some of these situations, you may feel blindfolded. You may feel like, again, you don't have all the information that you need to make the right kind of decision. Should you invest into this connection? Should you invest into this person? Is it going to end up like the last one? Is this going to be a good one? Right? So it's like this divided energy of feeling like, okay, is this a yes? Is this a no? Should I go for it, or should I cut him off? Right? That 2 of Swords says that sometimes you won't have all that information. Sometimes you won't be able to tap into all those answers. And it's a matter of trusting yourself and trusting your abilities, and knowing that no matter what happens, at the end of the day, you'll have your own back, and the divine will have your back. And even as you go, things may take a turn. Things may unfold differently. You may be surprised in the process in a really good way. To whereas maybe before you tend to be very defensive and think that, okay, maybe this is a red flag, or maybe this is this, or this person is a little bit like the last one, or, maybe kind of comparing them to an ex or something like that. Okay, it's not necessarily your fault. Everybody does that. Everybody does that because we all have a past. We all have past experiences. And the way that we learn is from our previous context of relationships and friendships and connections. That's how we learn in life. And that's how we tend to discern and make decisions. But sometimes you may get a little bit ahead of yourself and maybe, you know, judge a book by its cover, not give somebody the opportunity. And so at the end of the day, you won't always know, okay? You won't always have all the answers. But as long as you prioritize yourself and you use your wisdom and your actual intuition and not just a feeling or an emotion that's coming from a memory, you'll be able to navigate those waters a lot better. So, Two of Swords to the Hermit. Holy Spirit, tell us a little bit more about this Two of Swords for Pisces. What do you want Pisces to know about this energy? Okay, so Three of Wands in the reverse and King of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, so the King of Pentacles in the reverse. Some of you in the past, you encountered, could be an earth sign, doesn't necessarily have to be an earth sign. It could just be somebody who embodies that energy. But some of you in the past encountered somebody who was very, very rigid or very controlling or overpowering, okay? Or someone who was just very materialistic in a sense. Not necessarily... So being materialistic, okay, there's good things to that, but there's also a negative side to it, okay? And so this is showing up a little bit more like the shadow. So you might have encountered somebody who was not necessarily on your level, or they did not necessarily, maybe they weren't very open to spirituality, or maybe they didn't see eye to eye with you. Or maybe they were just very, very 3D. And so you couldn't connect with them on that level, okay? Because King of Pentacles in the reverse showcases the shadow of the King of Pentacles. So not necessarily the positive qualities. So it's a lot like the Devil energy because it's very earthly, very materialistic, very 3D. But it can also mean that there might have been areas in which you connected with this person, but there may have not been any alignment when it came to spirituality, when it came to emotions, when it came to, you know, maybe having intellectual conversations or sharing common interests, okay? This person might have just been all about the looks, right? They may just have connected with you because of the way that you look, okay? Or because of the way that, yeah, because King of Pentacles in the reverse talks about a very surface level kind of energy. Could be very shallow, okay? So again, a lot of Pisces tend to be very beautiful people. They have beautiful energy, you know, beautiful eyes, beautiful physique, okay? I know a lot of Pisces in my life, and it doesn't matter what age, Pisces tend to be very beautiful. So this could have been a person that may have liked you or invested into you or come to you because of your looks, or because of just the way that you feel, the way that you look, the way that you are, okay, what you represent, but not necessarily known you as a person, right? Not necessarily connected with you on a real level, okay? It feels very surface level, very shallow. And so it feels like there wasn't any depth to this person, okay? Maybe you guys didn't align in spirituality. Maybe they weren't even spiritual whatsoever. Maybe they weren't even connected to their emotions. Because the King of Pentacles will showcase the shallow side of the King of Pentacles, which is the shadow. And so Three of Wands in the reverse. You felt like you didn't want to move forward with this connection. Okay, because Three of Wands in the upright talks about your ships coming in and moving into the next phase. And anticipating the next phase and just being very excited, very enthusiastic. In the reverse, you halted this. You kind of placed a stop to this. Because you knew that if you move forward with this connection, if you knew that you were gonna regret it, you were gonna regret this later, because it just didn't feel like you connected on a deep level. It felt like it was surface level. It was kind of shallow. Maybe they could buy you certain things or give you certain things, but you just knew that you didn't feel that connection towards them. Some of you felt like you couldn't even communicate with this person. Maybe they didn't understand you, or you guys didn't even speak the same language, okay? It just feels like you had to put a stop to this connection because it was not going in the right direction. And you knew that if you move forward, you were gonna regret this later. So it's kind of like cutting your losses quickly and not letting this move on or become something even more, like not letting it go to the next level where it's gonna hurt more, because you knew that you and this person were not aligned. You guys were not on the same page. Tell me more about this King of Pentacles in the reverse, Holy Spirit. Could be Could be an earth sign, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Doesn't necessarily have to be, okay? They could just have those strong placements. But again, very, very shallow, okay? Very much about looks, very much about the materialistic things. And again, you guys did not have really good communication, or maybe even like a spiritual connection, or maybe you didn't even feel fully emotionally connected to this person, okay? Three of Wands in the reverse, because this is you placing a stop. This is you not letting it go to the next level. Whereas this person kind of wanted to move forward with you. Okay, King of Pentacles, Holy Spirit, tell us more about this person for Pisces. And this was a tough decision for you to make. Two of Swords, you felt like you had to make the decision, because if you continued this situation or this connection, you knew that it was not going in the right direction. Yeah, Nine of Cups in the reverse, Knight of Pentacles in the upright, and Page of Swords coming in. You may have thought in the beginning that this person was your wish fulfillment. You may have thought that this person was heaven sent, or that it was divinely aligned some way, somehow, because the Nine of Cups is here. So in the beginning, it felt, okay, you may have thought this was the one, okay, or you may have thought that this was the wish fulfillment. But as the connection started to progress and move forward, you realize that you still had to learn a lot about this person. You still didn't know a whole lot. And as you were studying this person and learning more about them, and just realizing that you guys were not really on the same page. Knight of Pentacles. The way that they move, the way that they do things was not really aligned with who you are as a person. And you may also have felt that either they were trying to move things way too fast with you or way too slow, okay? Could go both ways. Tell me a little bit more about this Knight of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. You decided not to invest with this person, whether it's your time, your energy, your finances, okay? Maybe you guys were in some kind of investment together. Maybe you met them through work, but you decided not to invest with them. Three of Wands, you halted this on time, and it was a tough decision for you to make, but maybe you knew way too much about this person, or you knew way too little about this person, because Page of Swords talks about studying somebody, learning about them. But yeah, Nine of Cups in the reverse. They were not your wish fulfillment. You may have thought that they were in the beginning, but you realized this was not it, or this was not the one. Okay, so this is coming in as a past connection, and that's what's connected to that Two of Swords. However, what you have coming in is a Two of Cups in the upright, so this is a really good sign. But I just wanted to kind of dig a little bit deeper to these past energies, because the Two of Swords can also be, you know, that feeling of being a little bit jaded when it comes to relationships or connections, and maybe thinking that it's easier to go at it alone and not entertain people or connections or relationships that are going to put you in this kind of situation where you feel a little bit confused, or you feel like you have to make a tough decision or a tough call. Okay, Holy Spirit, tell us a little bit more about the Hermit. What do you want Pisces to know about the Hermit energy coming in? Okay, so we have High Priestess in the reverse. Five of Cups, the Temperance, and the Seven of Swords. Ooh, Pisces, this hurts, okay? Five of Cups to Seven of Swords. Some of you decided to go solo for a little bit because you went through a major disappointment, and it may have been that person that you were connected to. That may have been the reason why. Like, you had high hopes. You thought that it was the Nine of Cups. You thought this was the wish fulfillment, but it turned out not to be. Okay, and it's not so much the person or what they did or what they didn't do, is that it got your hopes up, right? You did think that it was a wish fulfillment, and so you decided to go hermit mode. You decided to go solo because you experienced some kind of a major disappointment. Seven of Swords, there may have even been lies and deceit in this connection, in this situation. High Priestess in the reverse. You felt like you should have known better. You felt like if you only listened to your intuition, if you could only even discern what your intuition was, you know, from your emotions, from your feelings. Because when you get emotionally invested, or when you get your hopes up, or when you think that it's the wish fulfillment, you tend to, again, get completely wrapped up in the situation or wrapped up in the emotions. And then at that point, you don't know what's your intuition and what's your feelings and what's your emotions. High Priestess in the reverse. You felt like, again, like you should have known better. Like your intuition, you know, it's kind of like that moment of like, wow, like all the signs were there. I should have known better, you know, the shoulda, coulda, woulda kind of energy. But the thing is, yeah, when you're kind of all wrapped up in your emotions, in your feelings, maybe you think it's this, or you have this certain kind of image or idea in your mind, and you think maybe this is the one, or maybe this is that kind of connection. Yeah, that's what led to the disappointment. That's why it hurt. Not because of the person, not because of the situation, but it's so much more connected to getting your hopes up, and not knowing if you can trust your intuition because you had some kind of disappointment. But the thing is, High Priestess is in the reverse. You know, maybe the signs that you thought that you were getting were more so your emotions and your feelings rather than the intuition. High Priestess in the reverse. So card number 2. Keeping secrets, gossips, or mistruths, hidden agendas, fear of intuitive abilities, not paying attention to your inner voice. I have the answers I seek, and by following the truth, I will find them. Pay attention to synchronicity, any nagging feelings of being off track, as well as gut feelings that move you in a new direction at this time. The divine whispers that are emanating from your soul hold an important message for you. In the bridge between the enigmatic realm and the priestess, and your conscious understanding of the signs will be found through your own quiet introspection. Okay, yeah. So some of you felt like you had to go into hermit mode so that you can kind of clear your intuition wrapped up in emotions, because there was some kind of lies and deceit in the situation. 7 of Swords. And then we have the Temperance coming in. Why the Temperance, Holy Spirit? What is this about? We have three major arcana. So Hermit, High Priestess to the Temperance in the upright. The Moon in the reverse. 8 of Swords. And Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. There was a lot of unanswered questions, maybe even a lot of illusions in this connection. Okay, it made you feel a little bit entrapped, but it was only coming in from the mind space. And this is why some of you feel like, okay, you should have known better. You should have seen the signs. But again, 7 of Swords, there was some lies, there was some deceit. So that's not your fault. It's not on you. Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Some of you felt like you were stuck in this situation or in this connection a little bit too long, and like you couldn't see clearly. And again, there was a lot of unanswered questions. There was a lot of things hidden behind the shadows. And now you're just working on balancing yourself out, balancing your masculine and your feminine energy, and finding a very balanced place to where you're not swayed in one direction or the other, to where you don't get consumed in the relationship, to where you don't get consumed in the emotions or the feelings. Okay, so this is Pisces, pat yourself in the back. You're doing a really good job, because again, you can't see this coming. You can't control somebody else's actions, whether they're gonna lie or not, or let you down or disappoint you in a sense, but you're doing a really good job of keeping yourself balanced and bringing yourself back into this position of, again, moderation and trusting yourself again and having faith in yourself. Even when you don't know how to discern between your intuition and your feelings, this balance is really gonna hold you in place. And is going to keep you steady, and is not going to let you, again, fall or be swayed in a specific direction, or make you lose your balance or your stability or your own grounding. So Pisces, again, pat yourself on the back, because, you know, you can't anticipate a lot of these things, and you've gained a lot of wisdom through these experiences, and you've been doing a really good job of keeping yourself balanced and wise, and not kind of sinking down to a lower level or getting, you know, petty or, you know, vengeful with a person, because that 7 of Swords talks about them deceiving you or lying to you in some kind of way. But the Hermit, you chose wisdom, you chose introspection instead of revenge, or getting back to them in some kind of a way. So yeah, okay, Pisces, a lot of people, they tend to sink down to those lower levels and try to get revenge on the other person, or try to, you know, they get a little bit bitter or a little bit salty about the situation. But for you, you tend to grow from these experiences. You tend to enrich yourself and gain a lot more wisdom. So do pat yourself on the back, Pisces, because you are progressing through these situations. They are becoming stepping stones for you. Okay, so the Hermit coming in, there is a decision between staying in hermit mode or opening up to the possibility of a new connection coming in, because this 2 of Cups is coming in for you. This is what you're leaving behind. What we just clarified is what happened in the past, but what you're building up to okay, or where you're going to. This is the Two of Cups. This is some kind of a union, some kind of connection. So the Magician in the reverse, Holy Spirit, what do you want Pisces to know? This is a Gemini card. Okay, for some of you, there is a Gemini coming in. Doesn't necessarily have to be that sign. Could also be a water sign. Two of Cups. Holy Spirit, what do you want Pisces to know about the Magician in the reverse? That was fast. We have the Page of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune, Major Arcana. So with the Magician in the reverse, Pisces, and the Knight of Wands coming in, there's something about finding a muse, Pisces, finding a muse and kind of just sparking that passion for life, that curiosity for life again. Because some of you may have lost a little bit of your, you may have lost your groove a little bit, or you may have lost your juju in this past situation, whatever this was, because we do have the Queen of Wands in the reverse. It either put your flame off a little bit, it was a turn off. I don't know what this was for you, but it just kind of, you either grew bored of the situation, a little bit indifferent or apathetic. Doesn't necessarily have to be, like that kind of energy, but it might have put your flame out a little bit. And with the Magician in reverse to the Knight of Wands, this is specifically talking about finding that muse in life again, finding that curiosity, finding that spark and that lust for life again, so that you can get back on your groove, because Eight of Pentacles is directly connected to your work and to your abundance. It's like some way, somehow you're able to alchemize these situations and gain a lot more prosperity, gain a lot more abundance, and you're able to master manifest your way out of these situations. So for you, Pisces, every single rock bottom comes with a really big glow up. It's like that phoenix rising from the ashes. You always have that moment. Every single heartbreak, every single disappointment is paired with a major come up, with a major glow up. And it's time for that glow up. It's time for you to find that muse and to kind of reignite that spark, reignite that flame, because Eight of Pentacles is going to work in your favor. Seven of Cups is also going to get you out of any kind of indecision, any kind of confusion, any kind of brain fog, any kind of petty games is going to get you out of that energy. Okay, not to say that you were engaging with this energy, but it may have been some kind of residual coming from this situation. Wheel of Fortune in the upright, yeah. As you gain that spark, okay, as you reignite your flame, as you gain that curiosity, as you find your muse, the Wheel of Fortune, things will start to go in your favor in a very easy, effortless way. Okay, the Wheel of Fortune is in the upright, meaning that you have fortune and good luck on your side. Okay, but in order for that wheel to turn, the Magician has to come back into the upright. Some of you may have been sleeping on some talents and some abilities, okay? You may have been shying away a little bit. The Magician in the reverse, unused potential, maybe a little bit of unfocused energy, okay? A blocked creativity. The Magician brings forth a powerful message of creation and potential. You are magic. You have everything you need to succeed. Badass manifesting energy from the cosmos, all the skills you require, they're at your fingertips. Beautiful creator, go create. Activate the magic in your veins by focusing your energy, willpower, and desire in actions. When you consciously step into your personal power and decide to shape the material world in this way, every breath in, every breath out is an opportunity to carve new meanings and new perspectives into reality. If you are unsure of your ability to create the life you desire, trust in the latent potential that resides within you. Feeling less than inspired at this time reminds you that it is time to find your muse. Find your spark, find your why. With everything you need sitting in front of you, what is it that you desire to create in this life? And what can you do today that will bring you closer, that will bring you one step closer to that reality? I can manifest the life I desire through energy and action. Pisces, you're sitting on some talents. You're sitting on some potential here. And as soon as you kind of get back in your groove, as soon as you get your juju back, the Wheel of Fortune comes back into the upright. Okay? A lot of good fortune, a lot of good luck comes back into your life and things become effortless. Things just start to flow for you. And this leads you straight into the Two of Cups. There's a brand new connection coming in. For some of you, Pisces, this is a new best friend, a new friendship, okay? A platonic relationship, a platonic connection. But for others of you, this is romantic, okay? Or could even be a business partnership, but it is a union, okay? There are two hands merging in this card. And so you're coming from this unbalanced situation straight into this match made in heaven, to where, again, you're fully aligned with this person. And it's a feminine and a masculine. There is this divine counterpart coming into union with the Two of Cups. So I'm going to ask, I want to know a little bit more about this person, about this connection, because we start off with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse and we're ending with the Two of Cups in the upright. And this is part of your new beginning. This is part of this new opportunity coming in. And for a lot of you Pisces, it's going to be happening in this month or next month, but it's happening before the new year. Okay, so a lot to look forward to. And I just heard some of you may even be spending the holidays or Christmas with this person. Some of you potentially even New Year's. I don't know why this message came in, but it does feel like it's going to, yeah, it's going to be the right match, Pisces. Again, could be a best friend, could be a romantic relationship, a business partnership, but you guys are matched. It's a really good connection. They complement you and you complement them. Two of Cups. See how this Two of Swords creates a separation? And see how this Two of Cups creates the union? Okay, both of these are twos. Twos tend to be that master builder number, but sometimes that two separates. It's a fork in the road. You're either going to go left or right, okay? And this is a separation, but this Two of Cups is the union. This is what brings it together. So this is a really good reading, Pisces. I don't know for who this is, but some of you are coming into this Two of Cups energy. Holy Spirit, what do you want Pisces to know about this union? What do you want Pisces to know about this connection? The Sun, okay, that's a really good sign. Major Arcana coming in. The Devil in the reverse. I just got goosebumps. I touched the card and I literally got goosebumps as soon as I touched the card. And Eight of Cups. Okay, and I had a couple cards fall to the side. I'm not going to take these cards. I'm going to put them back. Okay, Pisces, wow. This connection, whatever this union is, Pisces, is going to bring a lot of happiness into your life. For some of you, this may be a Leo, okay? I'm just getting this intuitively because of the Sun energy. Doesn't necessarily have to be a Leo. I heard a lot of people say that Leos and Pisces are not a good match. I don't know, okay? Anything can happen. I don't know. Could be a Gemini, could be a Leo. Or it could also be a water sign, okay? Just putting those signs out there doesn't necessarily have to be. But the Sun, whoever this person is, Pisces, they're going to really brighten your days. They're going to light up your world. And the way that you're going to know who this person is they're going to be very, very positive, and they're going to bring a lot of happiness to your life. Whereas this person brought this confusion and this gloominess and maybe this, maybe this like low vibe kind of energy where, again, they couldn't match your energy. They didn't really understand you. Maybe they were a little bit too shallow, okay, for you being a very deep soul. This is completely different, okay? This person is very easygoing. They're very uplifting. They're very positive. And again, they're going to make you very happy with the Sun. This is also a big yes card, okay? So some of you may have already met this person, but for a lot of you, this is someone that you're going to be meeting in November or December. That's coming in specifically for some of you. The Devil in the reverse, exactly. You are going to be free from this energy of bondage or restriction, because whoever that person was in the past, we had the King of Pentacles in the reverse, which is an earth sign, and then we have the Devil, which is Capricorn. That could have been an earth sign, okay? It doesn't necessarily have to be, but yeah, Devil in the reverse. Whatever kind of hold they had on you, I was getting that like surface level energy, okay? They may have been a very lustful kind of person. That's also what the Devil represents. They may have had some kind of earthly addictions or earthly attachments, but it's a very low frequency energy. Whereas this Two of Cups is connected to the Sun. So do you see the difference? That person drained your energy. Whoever that was, they drained your energy. They pulled on you, and you felt like you needed to, again, escape from that situation. Like you needed to run away from that person or from that situation. And they were very shallow, very, maybe very even like possessive or lustful of you. Okay, whereas this person is completely the opposite. They're uplifting and high vibrational, and this person was very low vibrational. So you're leaving this energy behind as you come into this union, and you're stepping into the Sun. And this is actually really significant because the Eight of Cups is here. So do you see how this connects? So we have this gloomy energy here, and as you walk away, as you let go of that past connection, You see how she kind of does this burning bowl ceremony here? And she kind of starts to walk in the direction of the sun. And see, the closer she gets to the sun, you finally arrive to the sun, but you're leaving behind the devil, okay? You're leaving behind this low vibe feeling energy. This may have even been a person that caused a lot of like sadness, maybe even like depression in your life. They just were very low vibe, very low frequency. Maybe they could have just been very negative, okay? A very negative kind of person. But yeah, as you walk away from this person, 8 of Cups, this means you walked away from that past connection. You're walking straight into the sun, which is the 2 of Cups energy. So a really good sign for you, Pisces. I want to say congratulations, but some of you may have not met this person just yet. It's someone that's coming in, but this is as you make that decision to open up. Because if you remain closed off, it's just going to delay that, okay? Because what's meant to be yours will always be yours. But we can always, you know, make it a little bit harder on ourselves. You make it create more resistance or delay the process. And so the Ace of Pentacles is this brand new beginning for you, this brand new lease on life, where this connection comes in as you open up and as you allow these new connections to click into place. It's going to make you very, very happy, and you will be leaving behind this toxic energy, okay, that's connected to the person. Pisces, some of you may have already disconnected from that person, but you may still be going through some of that residual, some of the energy, some of the memories. You know, it's just very, very sticky and very hard to kind of get yourself away from this energy, because it can also create attachments and cords, as you can see here. Wow, Pisces. Yeah, this looks really good, because 8 of Cups means that you already started to walk away. Some of you already walked away from this person. Some of you already left them in the past. Some of you are going through this process now. But as you do, you're going to feel a very big shift in energy, okay? If you were feeling low or sad or depressed or just kind of like low frequency or negativity, it was connected to the person. It was not connected to you. And as you walk away, you're going to notice a difference in your own energy. Okay, I'm going to pull some final advice from the Oracle, from the higher self. And then we're going to wrap this reading up, because we're already at 50 minutes. This is really good news for you, Pisces. Congratulations, okay? I'm going to say it, congratulations, because, again, sometimes you just don't know how to trust yourself again when you go through situations like that, because you think, okay, I should have known better. But at the end of the day, you can't control how somebody's going to act or what they're going to do, right? You don't know right off the bat, you know, if a person's going to truly be who they say that they are, right? A lot of times you kind of have to give people the benefit of the doubt, and that's how you find out if it's going to work or not. Holy Spirit, please give us some advice for Pisces in regards to this energy, in regards to this reading, and maybe even this new connection coming in. Any final advice for Pisces, Holy Spirit? Okay, we have courage, expect the unexpected, direction, and take the first step. Pisces, courage is all about taking action, okay? So some of you may, you know, again, be more open, okay? Maybe go out more, maybe be more open to new connections, new friendships, okay? If you're getting invited to go out to parties or to go out to charity events or, I don't know, maybe to different kinds of places to do different kinds of activities, you know, have the courage to take the action and to accept. And not be so closed off, because expect the unexpected. There is a surprise coming in, a really good one, to where this connection is going to be coming in. You are on the right path, okay? You are on the right path. You have a good direction in your life. You are following your North Star, and it's time for you to take the first step. This is all about action, Pisces. The way that you're going to open up to this new relationship, to this new connection, and to the sun, to this happiness, is by having the courage to take the first step. This is all about action. You will be surprised in a very good way, because you are on the right path, okay? You are following your North Star. Pisces, this is all I have for your reading. Blessings. Take care.